Welcome to Beyond the Shadows, where forgotten places, strange stories, and eerie mysteries come to light. Join us as we step into the unknown, one shadow at a time. In 1812, a most peculiar case emerged from a small southern German village, that of 17-year-old Eleonore Siebern, a quiet girl from a devout family who preferred solitude to company. One ordinary evening, while playing with her sisters in the woods, she tumbled into a pit and lay trapped for nearly an hour before being rescued. But the girl they pulled out was not the same one who had fallen in. The very next day, Eleonore began exhibiting bizarre behaviors. She would murmur to herself in hushed tones as though engaged in earnest conversation with an unseen companion. Her eyes would fix for hours on empty space, particularly the ceiling, as if observing something invisible to others, sometimes breaking into inexplicable smiles. The mirrors she once loved now filled her with terror, and she would sit motionless for hours, her face frozen in expression, seemingly detached from reality altogether. Then came the sleep, not ordinary slumber, but something far more disturbing. She fell into a state of complete paralysis, comatose yet alive. Her breathing remained steady, her heart continued beating, but she moved not a muscle, spoke no words, kept her eyes firmly shut, and responded to neither sound nor pain. Physicians could only diagnose this as some mysterious nervous sleeping disorder, utterly baffled by its origins. For 30 long years, from 1813 until 1843, Eleonore lay in this impossible state. Nurses forced liquids past her lips while her body underwent eerie transformations, her skin periodically peeling away, her hair growing unnaturally long only to fall out again, her face bleaching to a deathly pallor until she resembled nothing so much as a living mummy. Doctors, scientists, priests, and charlatans alike came to examine her, yet none could explain her condition nor offer any relief. The nuns who tended her kept disturbing accounts. One recorded finding Eleonore suddenly staring blankly at the ceiling before letting loose a bone-chilling laugh directed at the empty space above, then returning to her motionless state as though nothing had occurred. Another nurse swore she witnessed the sleeping girl's eye snap open in the dead of night, fixing on the ceiling while her mouth stretched into an unnatural forced grin as she emitted quiet mirthless laughter before closing her eyes again. When scientists revisited the case in the early 1900s, they speculated about rare neuropsychological disorders or trauma-induced self-hypnosis. But the fundamental mysteries remained. How could any human survive 3 decades without movement? Why did she never develop bedsores or fatal muscle atrophy? And most perplexing of all, when she abruptly awoke in 1843, why did she remember everything before her long sleep yet remain completely unaware that 30 years had slipped away? This sudden awakening brought little joy, for Eleonore found herself alone in a world where all her family and neighbors had passed on. She lived just 3 more years before dying abruptly of heart failure in 1846, her body laid to rest in an unassuming grave. But the story refused to end there. A week after burial, villagers made a ghastly discovery. The grave stood violated. Eleonore's corpse vanished without trace. Before the empty tomb lay something resembling a malformed fetus, but when they sought clergy and physicians to examine it, the grotesque object disappeared, taking with it forever the truth of Eleonore's strange tale. If you like the story, like and subscribe.